All right, y'all. So we all saw this coming, right? We all saw this coming. Well, I saw it coming. I already told y'all that this was probably going to happen with all the signs leading to this. I mean, a couple months ago, what we saw Amanda Nunes up in Dana White's face and to give her a call. And at the same time, you can see she was in like pretty good shape. Then you just kept seeing like footage of her training and just looking almost near her fight weight. I mean, come on. Y'all really think she could stay away? Can no fighter stay away for longer than a year, especially when they still got a few more years under their belt and they didn't leave off on a bad note? It takes a lot for a fighter to get away from the sport of combat sports, period. I was going to say sport of boxing, sport of MMA. No, like it's like a fix. It's like a fix to these fighters. You know, I've seen it before with Floyd Mayweather, Bernard Hopkins, Roy Jones, all these boxers and MMA fighters. When they say, "Oh, I'm done," they'll stay away for about a year and they make that vow. But no, they come right back. I remember Bernard Hopkins like almost 20 years ago when he had his last fight at light heavyweight. He said that he vowed not to come back. You know, he told his grandmother he wasn't going to fight. And what did he do? He came back and fought like another 10, 12 years, you know? So you see it all the time. They can't stay away because it's in them. You know, once you fight for so long, that's really all you know. You know, they can go into other businesses or they can go into, you know, just other things like commentating or training. But when it's been in you so long and you've been champion for so long and you left off as champion, you just can't drop it like that. You just cannot put it away. So when Amanda Nunes was shaking her head up in the press conference audience, and Dana White's like, "Oh, she said yes. You know, she's coming back." I was like, of course. You know, so yeah, with Amanda Nunes coming back, you know, we definitely know why. I mean, she's been looking for a good setup like this. She's been looking for that good opportunity. I think that even though you know she's defended her title multiple times and you know she was a two-division world champion, she's still been looking for like legacy fights. You know, she already got some legacy fights like the Ronda Rousey fight, Misha Tate. You know, some blockbuster knockouts like Holly Holm, and you know, of course, the Chris Cyborg fight, right? But I still think deep down there's some legacy fights that she wants out there. You know, number one is this Kayla fight, which she prefers. You know, that's a big fight that she wants because of the history behind these two. And, you know, Kayla just talking this big game, right? She wants to shut her up. And then number two, if Pena was to win, she'd want to shut her up, right? I mean, they have a big rivalry going on. So she definitely wants to win her of Pena versus Harrison, no doubt, you know. So she's been waiting for this. And another thing that I think that just kind of sweetens the deal for Amanda Nunes, two things, you know, of course, they're probably going to give her the right money, but I think one thing to sweeten the deal is inducting her in the Hall of Fame. You know, last week when I saw that Hall of Fame induction and they did it at the right time, I was like, oh, okay, I know why they're doing this. They want to give her that now just to say, okay, no matter what, you are in the Hall of Fame in the UFC. All right. So that was one thing to kind of sweeten the deal. So, oh, I'm in the Hall of Fame now. All right. Yeah, I can come back and do whatever. I'll definitely, hey, I'm happy to oblige. I'll come back. Right. So I think that's one of the things besides the money that got Amanda Nunes to come out of retirement. Well, of course, you know, like I said, the other thing is just not having anything to do. And by that, I mean, you know, when these fighters aren't fighting, nothing compares to it. Right. It's like a drug. You know, it's like a drug. They just got to commit to it, you know. So everything I was just looking at in this interview with Amanda Nunes, I mean, it just points to no more little hidden clues. Now it's just like, I want. You know, it's back, right? Like what she said right here in this recent interview with, was this MMAfighting.com. She said, look, it's different for me to see things from the outside and see my belt there. It's like that belt was just a fantasy, that the real one is back home with me. Seeing that only motivates me. Let them fight each other, meaning Kayla and Pena. Let them fight each other, and then I'll come back and take my belt and restore the calm. So right there, that's kind of funny and exciting, you know, to hear, you know, that the so-called GOAT, to those people that like to play the GOAT thing, you know, they definitely want to hear this from Amanda Nunes, to see her come back and restore some order to this dry division, right? Well, the division is starting to pick up, right? But it could still use Amanda as far as like some excitement and some rivalries here, right? So yeah, she also said as far as the winner, I'll fight Kayla or Julianna. I want my belt back and I'll fight for it. I'm driven by challenges and I like to fight for something. All right, so right there, see, she's got a challenge now. See, after she beat Irene Aldana, there was really nothing going on. Fighting Rocky again for the belt didn't really make sense. Fighting Julianna at the time didn't make sense. But now that Julianna has the belt back and Kayla's done 1-2 fights and, came over to the UFC, and now they're matched up. She's been waiting for this. She was just waiting for this. So I don't think she was ever fully retired. She says, Kayla's strong. Kayla's strong. That's the one I want. It could be Julianna cool. I fought her twice. I'll fight her again. Kayla's strong. She's coming. She's coming now and is on a good level, has good judo and great grappling. She's evolving on the feet, and that's the one I want. This new thing. So yeah, really to me, as far as like her coming back, my thoughts fully on Amanda Nunes coming back. Would I want her to come back? Do I want her to come back? No, not really. I don't. But at the same time, I'll definitely tune in and watch, because she's one of those fighters that brings excitement as far as her style and everything. But, when she was retired, I was fine with that. I was like, hey, there was nothing else for you. You're done, right? But, of course, when other challenges come around, it was almost just like a little layoff where she was just waiting for things to kind of align to make more sense, right? So, like I said, I don't think she was ever fully retired at that. But if she'd wanted to, yeah, I was fine with it, But as far as who she wants to fight next, who she wants to win, I definitely agree with her on Kayla. Kayla's a new look. Kayla's a big threat. She's a big danger. Even moving down to 135, she is that. Like, I definitely agree with her. Like, of course, her judo's good, and her grappling's good. Those are two of the things that we always look at over the past few years, even in the UFC. Her takedowns and how strong she is on the ground, and her ground and pound. She's just not a lay and pray type of girl. She's in there that likes to take you down and beat you down with those elbows, right? So yeah, she definitely got a good mixture of judo and grappling. And like I always say too, like, she's evolving on the feet. She can throw some good head kicks and high kicks, strike her way in. So yeah, I think that, we'll see how this fight turns out, what's exposed or what's improved from Kayla. And I think that's going to drive Amanda even more to train harder. And at the same time, give Amanda some more motivation. And yeah, that would make the better fight too, because, we've already seen the Pena rivalry, which I'll talk about here in a minute. But, Kayla Harrison, they kind of have history. I was looking at one article from a while back, I guess, where Kayla was in an interview, just going in on Amanda, saying she was talking about ATT while she just sitting back being fat now and retired, something like that. But, also Amanda kind of came back with some things recently as far as them not really being training partners, but having some sessions and things like that. And I guess some things just didn't go the way they thought it would. Maybe some bad vibes. I don't know. I'm going to look back into that and maybe talk about it in another video. But I just think that there's some other history behind the scenes where these two, they really don't like each other. Like Pena said, Nunes doesn't like Kayla Harrison more than she doesn't like me. She dislikes her more. And you can kind of see that. Like, when some people don't say much about another person, that really shows you that there's a strong dislike. Like, you can mention Pena to a man, and a man will kind of smile and she'll talk some trash here and there and say, oh, I beat her, or, she's one dimensional, or things like that. And they'll kind of take little jabs at each other. They'll bounce off each other with things. But when it comes to Kayla, it seems like Amanda's a little bit more straight-faced. She seems a little bit more straight-faced, and maybe some just doesn't rub her the right way about him. Kayla Harris, I don't know. So I think that would kind of translate into a good fight between these two. So yeah, if Kayla was to win, yeah, that would definitely be a big threat for Amanda as far as, power and size and just activity. But, Amanda, she's been around for a long time. Her grappling is great. I think it's a little underrated. Her strength, I think people don't just realize how strong Amanda is, but, she's always also got that equalizer. Just let 2 or 3 of them things connect, and, we'll see like Kayla Harrison on a different street in that fight. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I definitely agree that's the fight that she wants to come out of retirement for, and that makes sense. All right. But like she said here, if Julianna Pena was to win, cool. She's like, cool. I fought her twice. I'll fight her again. So that shows you she still has heart, and she was never scared. Man just probably wanted to take a break, recover, and just let something happen. She probably wanted to see Julianna Pena get some work in and get better as a fighter, because the way that second fight went, even though it was a mess, like a bloody mess, and Nunes even walked out on crutches, Pena still didn't look like this fresh fighter. She just looked like a dog in there, like a Tasmanian devil that was still just kind of gnawing at Nunes. But as far as technique, there just wasn't much from her in there. So maybe, after the Rocky fight, and maybe after this fight, we'll see some different things. But even in that Rocky fight, like I said, y'all think Pena won? Fine. I thought Rocky won, but Pena was getting dropped in that fight too, So even in that fight, I saw a little some one-dimensional moments from Pena, some lack of IQ. But if it was to happen for the third time, I think Amanda would definitely make an exciting fight. And I think Amanda would win again, but I definitely think it would be a good, solid match for bantamweight. It wouldn't be like it was a boring fight, maybe a fight we didn't ask for, but it would be nice to see them kind of close their rivalry out if Kayla can't beat Pena. Amanda can go back in there, restake her claim, become a 3-time champion off a third fight of Pena, So that's something that I think she'd want to do. Amanda likes to kind of shut people up and get those victories. And she's just one of those fighters that I think rubs people the wrong way, whether it be Valentina or Pena, they get annoyed with her, even like Kayla now. So Amanda likes to do that. She likes to, I think that's one of the things that drives her. So yeah, if this fight happens too, I think we won't be disappointed as far as what happens in it. There's going to be blood between Nunes and Pena, even a third time. So yeah, with that, I would just really pray for Pena to learn some defense and some technique, because that fight's going to take years off her life if it happens, But yeah, the Kayla fight is the one I'm looking forward to. If Kayla beats Pena, yeah, that's the one I'm looking forward to. But yeah, like I said, I think Amanda's definitely ready to come back now. I think as far as fighting shape and weight, she's staying close to that, like we've been seeing in a lot of her posts. I think even technique wise, that's why she got that gym, that gym she got a little while back. Like she wanted to get her money's worth out of that thing. She got it when around the time of the Pena fights and the Aldana fight. It's not even like she got a chance to use it much. So she's going to come back. She definitely wanted to come back. And I think Amanda, she really won't be rusty like that. She won't, to come back, not even get a tune-up fight and go straight in for the winner of this fight. That says a lot about her. It's definitely saying a lot about where she stands right now. But yeah, guys, what do y'all think in the comment section about Amanda's comeback? Like I said, if she stayed retired, I was fine with that. But I'll definitely watch her return. And I definitely know why she's coming back. Money and Hall of Fame worthiness now. She can rub it in, But who do y'all want to see her fight? Who do y'all prefer to win? Pena or Harrison? Combo Breaker 99. I'm out. Subscribe. Peace.